we create our first Android application, you might want to go in to your File Explorer and create a folder to contain all the applications or projects you'll work on in this course. So I have a folder here called CIS165DA. It's inside my data folder of SMCC, or you can also create one that says Android Cohort. However you want to name it is up to you. I'm going to go to the Start menu, and I'll scroll down to find Android Studio. And I can double-click Android Studio here and launch Android Studio. I also right-clicked and pinned it to my Start. And more, I pinned it to the taskbar. So it's down here on my taskbar where I can double-click on it and launch it. Or in the Start menu, I have Android Studio linked there as well. I'm just going to launch it from the taskbar by double-clicking. And we're going to create a new project. So I'm going to click that in the splash screen, and we're asked to select a project template. And there's a bunch of project templates here that have some things already pre-built for us. We're going to start with the empty activity. Now, an activity is simply Android's name for what we might consider a screen or a page. So I'll choose empty activity, click Next, and then I need to give my app a name. So I'm going to call it CS165DA01, since this is going to be my first project, or maybe this is week 1 or lesson 1. I'm going to call it Workflow Demo. And by adding the zeros, or the 01, 02, and so forth, lets me keep track of my projects in numerical order as they're listed in the Windows Explorer. After the name, we're asked to give a package name. Now, the package name is a reverse URL, typically for the company you're working for, or your own company, your own website. It does not have to be a real one at this point, so you can use and I use my last name, and that's going to be your project name, kind of all ran together as all lowercase. So if we think about a URL, it might be CIS165DA.hustedde.com, so it's backwards here. This gives it a unique package name to your project. Then choose the location. So I'm going to click the folder here and go to that folder that I showed you I created. And then the language we can choose from is either Kotlin or Java. Java is generally the more traditional, older way of creating Android apps when Android first came out. Google is now suggesting you use Kotlin, and that's what we'll teach in this course. And then the minimum SDK. So what operating system do you want to target as a minimum for your application? The smaller the number, the older the operating system is, and the more phones that can run it. But as we go to older operating systems, there are new components and APIs that are not available to older phones. Oreo's kind of the default that comes up here for me. I think it's a good place to start. A newer phone is going to be running Pi or Q, but we'll start with Oreo 8.0. Notice there are two Oreos here. There's an 8.0 and an 8.1. So I'll do the 8.0. It's going to tell you how many devices it can run on. So in this case, 60.8% of devices. Kind of an estimate of anyone running Oreo or newer, 60% of the target audience out there. I'm going to click Finish. It's going to load our project into Android Studio. It's going to give us a bunch of stuff to start with. A bunch of files and folders will be created. And you can watch the status bar down at the bottom for information. Make sure everything is loaded successfully. In the next video, we'll take a tour of this Integrated Development Environment, or IDE, of Android Studio.
If you just jumped into this video, you can see all the videos from the Android App Development Cohort playlist by clicking on the image in the lower right. And if you'd like to be alerted to future videos that I create, you can click my picture up in the top right and subscribe to the channel.